to get certification, which was not a certification program, because it takes months and months and hours of study to get a trichology certification. And you get a lot of great information in these programs, but I researched and found the program that's actually located in Juba, National Trichology Training Institute. And actually the program was supposed to come here, and we would do some of the programming here and some of the studies in Georgia. But we ended up flying there because there was a few of us in the class that did that, but it was a one-year program to get your total certification. A lot of studying, a lot of homework, a lot of research, formulation of product information, learning scalp scanning, going through the structure of hair in depth. We had medical doctors to come in to help with some of the training. We had the medical building and coding individuals to come in to teach us how we could incorporate some of those things with our program of trichologists. Very in-depth, a lot of studying, and I suggest to any stylists that are interested in doing a program, be prepared to work. My dining room table was set up for a whole year as like a classroom, because you just really have to immerse yourself into it to really get it.
So you said it was a year long.
It was a year-long process, and we had to fly every other, I think it was every 3 weeks. We had to fly to Georgia from wherever we were, because there were people there from different states. And we were in the program for 3 days of study. We had assignments, the curriculum, everything. We would go back to our respective homes and start studying to prepare to come back 3 weeks later. It was a very, very rewarding program if you immersed yourself.
You have to immerse yourself in the actual educational process.
You really do. If you're not going to immerse yourself into the program, you're not going to get out everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
And after you leave, it's like with any other program, because I heard some individuals say, well, how do you get everything I wanted? Well, we go to cosmetology school, we go to different colleges, universities. If you don't apply yourself properly, you're not going to retain information. If you don't come out and maybe do an internship program or get involved with whatever industry you're studying to be in, you're not going to get it. You're not going to be successful in it. So you do have to continue to educate yourself. You should never stop learning.
Well, I was getting ready to say, most professionals, even though I recently heard that there are ways around getting the formal education that you're supposed to get just by being licensed. So people are supposed to get the education or stay abreast.
Yes,
of,
exactly.
Yeah, what's going on in the field, and why not be educated in trichology?
Yeah, well, I'm teased a lot because people say, you're still in school? I've been in this industry over 40 years.
Well, you're an educator. You have to continue.
I love learning. I love learning, and I love sharing information that I learn. So, I mean, but you have to be passionate enough if you're going to do the right thing by the customers and be a mentor in the industry. You have to continue your education.
Absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about your education and the other types of programs that are out there, because as we were mentioning on the other segment, I was saying that I wrote an article. An article can be found in Medium. And actually, let me figure out what the name of it is. Okay, so the name of it is Hair Loss and the World of Trichology, why you should care if you want to save your hair. And I wrote the article because as a hair scientist, I get a lot of questions. People ask me my advice about hair supplements, and then they hear this buzz term of trichology, which is the study of disease of the hair and scalp. And they want to know more about it. So repeatedly, people were asking me, well, what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts? And there are all these programs. Well, what do you think is best? So I had to do some research because I didn't have any information. And it just so happened about 2 years ago, roughly, I was introduced to Connie Judge Johnson at a conference that I was attending. And the organizer of the conference actually put us together and was like, you need to meet this, he was telling Connie, you need to meet Dr. Porter, and he was telling me, you gotta meet County Judge Johnson. And so we hooked up and saw that we really had a synergy. She
Yes.
provides the training that you were discussing.
Yes.
And I have a different niche in terms of hair science and actually knowing the science behind doing scientific studies and it more at, I don't want to say advanced because it really isn't advanced, it's different, but more in-depth information about what
Yes.
goes on with the hair fiber as a result of the environment, grooming habits and practices, products that you use, frequency of use, I mean, all of that.
All of that, yes.
So it really is a win-win for us to be together, and we've had the opportunity to, I mean, I've learned a lot from her, and hopefully she and her students have learned a lot from me because I have gone out. But that's when I really started appreciating what she put together in terms of doing it the right way.
Yep.
And so she is a state school where she is able to give an actual diploma.
Yes.
And so when I started seeing all of the other organizations and associations that also give education on trichology, not to say that the information is bad, it's actually really good information because they invite outside speakers who are immersed in the field, and so they're able to share information. So anytime you're in that type of environment where you have a bunch of professionals sharing information, that's a win-win. However, they will come into, because some of them are based overseas, so they will come into the United States, have this class, stay for maybe a week. 3 of those days will be this class that they offer, and they promise to certify trichologists or certified cosmetologists that to become trichologists, or so they claim. And it wasn't until I understood a little bit more about what really needed to be done that I was like, oh my God, people are being duped. And not just the cosmetologists who are paying their money thinking that they are getting certified in trichology, but also the people who are going to be so-called trichologists or so-called certified trichologists who claim to have an expertise that they don't really have.
Exactly.
Because it is no way you can learn
No way.
all of the things that you were describing that you learn in a 3-day course. I don't care if it's 24 hours.
No.
Of,
not
in those things. It really isn't enough. There's just too much information. You have to have practice and clinicals, and so it's no way you can do that. So I felt obligated to actually write the article because I wanted to answer the question that people had or have about where should I go and what should I consider. So hopefully, if you go on Medium, that's a platform where you can actually publish work. And the name of the article is Hair Loss in the World of Trichology, Why You Should Care If You Want to Save Your Hair. And I am the author, Dr. Crystal Porter, and the company that I wrote it under is my company, Main Insights. So I hit on a number of other things, and we were talking on the break about some of the other issues. So we talk about them not necessarily being qualified, but also people are calling themselves doctor as if they actually have a medical degree and are trying to diagnose some of the conditions that they think their clients are suffering from without actually having a partnership with an expert. And while I think there has to be some type of give and take, because the dermatologist isn't interested in actually doing your hair, but the dermatologist would benefit because if they have someone knowledgeable, such as yourself, who knows about the different diseases and actually has more information and knows the lingo, then they can trust someone, the client can actually get help and support for whatever the doctor is recommending.
And it's unfortunate, I read that article and I'm in agreement. And knowing some of the stylists or practitioners that are using those terms, and the clients are going to them because they're listening to the terminology and the title, and they don't understand that most of the individuals have some information and not enough information. Sometimes they say a little information is dangerous because sometimes people misuse that information and they cause more issues. And that's what has happened a lot in the industry. Unfortunately, I think they meant well, but they caused some other drama and trauma to consumers out there, so that now they distrust the term trichologist because they've had really bad experiences in going to someone that didn't have enough information, that did not do the proper consultation, did not do the proper recommendations, did not recommend they go to a medical doctor, did not recommend they go to a dermatologist, and help to aid in solving the issues that they were having. And it's caused more drama. Some people are completely bald. I heard of an issue about 4 months ago and saw pictures that thoroughly just shocked me about an improper consultation and treatments. And not only were the treatments not for what the condition was, but the client was charged so much money for it that it was just heartbreaking to even hear. And I have a friend who's a trichologist at a prosthetic manufacturer, basically. She makes them, that ended up doing a consultation with this young lady and was able to help her. But she's lost about a fourth of her hair from her peripheral vision, area down her neck. It's really kind of shocking, but these things are happening under the term people using terminology and not having enough information.
Oh, that's
it's unfortunate. And you hear more and more stories like that, which is why we must pull together stylists. I know it's very difficult sometimes and it can be a little expensive, but I have also gone to classes from some of these other organizations. And it is a lot of good information. You learn other terminologies, you learn different ways to maybe do treatments. You can mix your own ingredients. There are other product companies out there that have products to help stimulate the scalp or exfoliate the scalp, but you must get enough foundation of information before you start doing these treatments and treat the client right. Do the right thing. How would you want to be treated if it was you in that situation?
Absolutely. And the unfortunate part is when it comes to our hair,
yes,
we're very passionate and very emotional. And that breeds the opportunity for people who are just being greedy to just monopolize on that opportunity.
Exactly.
And take people's money and then not even provide them with the proper services. So it is heartbreaking to hear about, it's heartbreaking to witness.
Yes.
And sometimes the client really has in the back of their mind that they're doing the right thing and they want help so bad that even if they really know or someone tells them, you may not want to continue to go to this person.
Exactly.
They have invested so much already.
Exactly.
That they keep going just with that hope.
With the hope. And it's unfortunate that there is a timeline for general treatments and services that you should give. And most times it could be 90 days to 6 months to a year. But if you're overcharging the person walking through the door and not doing the proper treatment for them, or at some point do another evaluation of the treatments and services that you've been providing, and you may have to recommend someone else or recommend another person that maybe have more expertise than you do. And stylists, unfortunately, some of us out there don't do that. But I learned a long time ago in this industry that I am not proficient at doing every hair service. So if I'm not a great colorist, I need to be able to make recommendations to someone that I know. But sometimes stylists don't feel like they, can do that.
Right.
But there are other people out there who are more skilled at doing some of the treatments or the style recommendations than others. You cannot do everything. I forget the old term that we used to use, what is it? Something about you can do a lot of things, but you're a master of none.
You can be a jack
of
of
all
all
trades.
trades,
But yes, yes. So
Yeah.
sometimes I think, unfortunately, stylists, some of us have that characteristic of being able to do that, and it's unfortunate. It's not professional, and we need to get back to being more professional, providing quality services, doing the right thing by the customers, because that's our livelihood. Okay, and we want to be able to provide quality services and keep it professional so that the customers will continue to trust us. And that's the line that a lot of stylists don't understand. It's about trust.
Absolutely.
You know, if they trust you to do the right thing and you don't, it's disheartening. And some clients don't come to salons anymore because of that factor. I wanted a trim. You cut off all my hair. I asked for blonde. You gave me green. So I mean, but it's a trust factor. They
Right.
put their hair in your hands, trusting that you're going to do the right thing by them. And the same with the trichology services out there, stylists. Get more information. Stop using the terms and the phrases and the titles that you haven't really acquired through your education. Do the right thing. There's more education out there, so NTTI is just one of the institutes in Georgia that you can go to. It is the only authorized by the non-public post-secondary education commission. You can look at their website and see the number of schools, whether there's a degree program, which is an accredited college diploma or certification. And if you don't see some of these other associations on that list, they are not giving you a certification.
So with that, thank you for that information, but I do want to close up and give you time to remind people how to contact you. So can you give your name again, and your phone number, and your address?
My name is Melvina Cox. I'm located at 2600 South Michigan in the South Loop. My phone number is 773-914-0421. That's 773-914-0421. I work by appointment only, so please call.
All right. Well, Melvina, even though we have another hour, I know you have to leave us. But on the other side, with segment number 3, we're actually going to turn it around a lot. I am going to have my first male guest of the semester, because we've had all women so far, but the male perspective is very, very important, and they care about hair, not only their own, but ours.
Okay.
So we'll be talking a little bit about that. So, you have one more thing to
I
add?
have one more thing to add, if I may.
Oh, absolutely.
There is a National Beauty Cultures League that I'm a part of as an educator, and I'm also going there for education. It's located in Washington. It is the oldest hair organization that was founded back in 1949. We're coming up on a 100-year anniversary in 3 years. And I'm just asking stylists, barbers, estheticians, nail techs, hair braiders that are licensed professionals to just try to come on board. You can reach me at the same number, 773-914-0421, because I just started a chapter of that national organization in Chicago. And we're going to be doing training, and we're going to be sharing information. And the program has a national institute where you can come once a year to get training, because we're working towards accreditation for cosmetology science. So come on and join us and help keep the legacy alive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we gotta have you back. We have to put you on the calendar so I can let our listeners know.
And
when
thank
you'll be
you
back
for
on, because
inviting me.
We just didn't have enough time to hit on everything, but that's the excitement about what we're involved in terms of hair care and hair science, and really wanting to help and empower women.
Yes, yes.
To wear their crown, their crowning glory.
Exactly.
All right, but we'll be back on the other side, so in about 8 more minutes, so come back.
Whew. It does pass quick.
Oh yeah, it passed really quick. All right.
Uh-oh. I just dropped my little phone so I need to leave.